The world is once again witnessing a high-stakes chess game, and this time, the Pacific is the battlefield. China has just thrown down the gauntlet, striking a deal with the Cook Islands that could alter the balance of power in the region. The U.S. and its allies, scrambling to maintain their grip, are suddenly realizing that their decades of dominance are slipping through their fingers. Washington talks a big game about democracy and alliances, but when it comes to actually supporting these nations with tangible benefits, they're nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, Beijing, with its checkbook diplomacy and relentless ambition, is proving that money talks louder than empty political promises. This is no longer a Cold War, it's a full-blown economic invasion, and the Cook Islands are just the latest domino to fall. But let's not pretend China is some benevolent savior here. Beijing's track record in Africa, Latin America, and even its own backyard paints a picture of a superpower that doesn't invest, it takes. Infrastructure projects that turn into debt traps, industries swallowed whole by Chinese companies, and environments destroyed in the name of development. The Cook Islands might think they're securing their future by signing this deal, but what happens when the bills come due? What happens when China starts pulling the strings and dictating policies? This isn't partnership, it's economic colonization, dressed up as cooperation. And if history has taught us anything, it's that no country gets into bed with China without eventually paying the price. Meanwhile, the U.S. and its allies have no one to blame but themselves. Washington's Pacific strategy has been a disaster, weak, reactive, and downright insulting to the nations it claims to support. Australia and New Zealand have spent years treating the Pacific Islands as dependents rather than partners, assuming their allegiance was permanent. Now, they're panicking because China is doing what they failed to do, offering real, immediate economic benefits. The hypocrisy is astounding. The West accuses China of expanding its influence, yet it abandoned these nations when they needed support the most. The Cook Islands deal is just the latest example of how Beijing is exploiting the West's arrogance and complacency. So here we are, on the edge of another global showdown, one where alliances are shifting, power is being recalibrated, and the Pacific is becoming the newest theater of geopolitical warfare. The Cook Islands may be a small nation, but its decision carries enormous consequences. Will this deal cement China's dominance in the region? Will the U.S. and its allies finally wake up and counter Beijing's relentless expansion? Or are we simply witnessing the beginning of the end for Western influence in the Pacific? One thing is certain, the world order is changing before our eyes. Stay with us till the end. Hello and welcome back to Innovative Check, YouTube channel where we delve into the innovative and transformative projects changing our world. If you're new to the channel and enjoy learning about innovation stories around the world, you've come to the right place. Please subscribe, like, and comment to help boost our videos on YouTube. China's latest maneuver in the Pacific is sending shockwaves through geopolitical circles, raising alarms in Washington and Canberra as Beijing inches closer to expanding its influence in a region that has long been considered within the U.S. and Australia's strategic sphere. The deal with the Cook Islands is more than just an economic partnership, it's a statement, a carefully calculated move by China to establish a firmer foothold in the Pacific, where it has been steadily outpacing Western allies in diplomacy, trade, and infrastructure development. With secrecy surrounding the agreement's full scope, concerns are mounting that Beijing is quietly shaping the future of the Cook Islands in ways that could challenge U.S. and Australian dominance in the region. For New Zealand, the stakes are particularly high. As the former colonial power, Wellington retains a level of oversight over the Cook Islands' security matters, yet it has found itself sidelined in this unfolding development. Winston Peters, the country's foreign minister, has expressed frustration over the lack of transparency, a sentiment shared by many in diplomatic circles. New Zealand, a staunch U.S. ally, is grappling with the implications of a deal that could see China cementing its presence in a region where strategic control has long been contested. Beijing's playbook in the Pacific has been consistent win over small island nations, with economic promises, build infrastructure, and in some cases secure agreements that could later translate into military or intelligence advantages. The Cook Islands deal appears to fit this pattern, and while its details remain undisclosed, experts suggest it is likely to include provisions for deep-sea mining, strategic port investments, and maritime security areas that have direct implications for regional power dynamics. If China is indeed setting the stage for deeper involvement in the Pacific, The implications are profound. The U.S., already stretched thin in countering Beijing's growing influence across the Indo-Pacific, finds itself in a position where traditional alliances are being tested. Australia, under the leadership of Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, has been vocal in warning against unchecked Chinese expansion, yet the reality is that China's economic influence is often too significant for small island nations to ignore. Cook Islands Prime Minister Mark Brown's decision to move forward with the agreement, despite warnings from New Zealand and other allies, underscores the growing challenge Western powers face in maintaining their influence in the region. Just a quick reminder to hit the like button below. YouTube has been restricting my videos a lot recently because of bots, so your like does help out this video massively in terms of the algorithm in YouTube. This isn't just about economic development. China's interest in the Cook Islands ties into a broader strategy that has been unfolding across the Pacific. Beijing has already signed policing agreements with the Solomon Islands and Kiribati, secured diplomatic recognition from multiple nations that previously sided with Taiwan, and steadily expanded its Belt and Road Initiative into areas that were once solidly under Western influence. Each of these moves, taken in isolation, may seem like diplomatic victories, but together, they paint a picture of an increasingly assertive China that is positioning itself to shape the future of the Pacific. Mark Brown's visit to China marks a significant moment in this evolving dynamic. It is the first time in a decade that a Cook Islands leader has made such a trip, and the timing is no coincidence. The island nation, still reeling from the economic fallout of the pandemic, sees China as a potential economic lifeline. The Chinese government, for its part, has been keen to capitalize on this opportunity, offering investments and partnerships that could reshape the nation's economic landscape. But at what cost? Environmental groups are particularly concerned about the implications of deep-sea mining, an industry that China has aggressively pursued. The Cook Islands, home to one of the largest exclusive economic zones in the world, possesses vast underwater mineral deposits that could prove lucrative in the age of clean energy and advanced technology. But the prospect of Chinese black mining operations in these waters has raised red flags among conservationists and regional leaders alike. While Brown insists that any mining will be conducted responsibly, critics point to China's track record in resource extraction, which has often prioritized economic gains over environmental protections. New Zealand's concerns extend beyond environmental risks. The secrecy surrounding the agreement has fueled speculation that Beijing is pushing for strategic concessions that could have military implications down the line. If China secures access to key infrastructure in the Cook Islands, it would mark yet another step in its broader effort to challenge U.S. and allied dominance in the Pacific. Such a move would not be without precedent. China's engagement in the Solomon Islands, for example, was initially framed as a policing agreement, yet subsequent revelations suggested a far deeper level of involvement. If you are enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to subscribe, share the video, and comment. This latest development is bound to complicate Washington's Pacific strategy. The Biden administration has sought to counter China's advances with renewed diplomatic engagement and infrastructure investments, but Beijing's ability to move swiftly and decisively has repeatedly put the U.S. on the defensive. In many ways, the Cook Islands deal serves as a litmus test for how effectively the U.S. and its allies can push back against China's growing influence in the region. The situation also presents a challenge for Australia. While Canberra has been working closely with Pacific nations to counter Beijing's expansion, the Cook Islands' decision to align more closely with China is a stark reminder that economic necessity often trumps ideological alignment. China's ability to offer financial incentives, infrastructure development, and trade partnerships makes it an attractive partner for small island nations that are struggling to secure long-term economic stability. As the details of the agreement emerge, the geopolitical landscape of the Pacific could shift in ways that will have lasting consequences. The Cook Islands, a nation of just 500 people, may seem insignificant in the grand scheme of global politics, but its strategic location and vast oceanic resources make it a key player in the ongoing contest for influence. Whether this deal paves the way for further Chinese expansion or sparks a renewed effort by Western allies to reassert their presence in the region remains to be seen. The stakes in this unfolding situation go beyond economics and diplomacy. The Cook Islands' decision to engage with China underscores the shifting power dynamics in the Pacific, where traditional alliances are being redefined and new partnerships are being forged. For the US and Australia, this is yet another wake-up call, a stark reminder that China's influence is no longer confined to its immediate periphery, but is extending into areas that have long been considered Western strongholds. If New Zealand's concerns are justified, this deal could set a precedent for other Pacific nations considering similar agreements with Beijing. The secrecy surrounding the negotiations only adds to the uncertainty, fueling speculation about what China's ultimate objectives might be. For now, the details remain undisclosed, but one thing is certain: the geopolitical balance of power in the Pacific is shifting, and the implications will be felt far beyond the shores of the Cook Island. Thank you for your attention, and I welcome your thoughts and questions on this complex and vital subject. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to get exclusive videos about how phenomenally China is developing and growing its influence. Your subscriptions and likes motivate us to generate more content, so please keep supporting us. Check out this video showing on your screen right now, and I will see you on the other side.